What's up, guys? Last video I talked about the Affirm trade recap. Then I was going to talk about Ethereum in another video, not this video, because low key, I don't know what it's doing. But like crypto is kind of hard to do on the short term. But I'll give you my mindset about how I trade Ethereum next video. But now I want to focus on gold, like I said I was. Um, yeah, gold. I bought gold. I kind of ripped this off from someone. Yeah, but basically, this is a monthly time frame. Oh, also, yeah. So this is a monthly time frame, and these are like dark pool activities. And I speculate that this is a buy for a few reasons. And if this is a buy, I think that gold will have a lot more to run. Not a lot more. I think it'll have another leg up. I do think gold is overvalued, but you have to look at you can't look at things like I don't like trading like Warren Buffett because he definitely uses an overvalued, undervalued approach, which does have some merit, but he definitely holds on to some of his positions for years and years. And I th- I am more of a momentum person. Like the if the momentum of an asset is good, then it will probably keep going up until like the narratives change, until the momentum changes. But momentum, like especially on a longer time frame, momentum isn't something that changes super quickly, right? Especially like something like gold, right? Like you had this breakout in I don't know when 2024, right? Every month or every 3 months you would have been up, right? And that's because momentum isn't something that changes quickly. Now, like buying here, you could be like, oh, this is expensive, blah, blah, blah. And you would be right, but things can get more expensive. Just like if you bought this dip here, you'd be like, oh, it went up and this is a buy the dip and then it dips more and then it dips more, right? Like cheaper stuff can also get cheaper, right? And I think there are some good examples of that, but I don't want to like go into it. But yeah, but it's like looking at things from a valuation perspective, I don't think it's that valuable. That was a nice pun. Yeah. So let me pull up gold real quick. So I mean, I could have waited another few days, honestly, and I probably should have, but I think this is good enough, right? Like, so you have this high, this high, this high, and then you kind of break above all of that. I think this is confirmed. I'm not 100% sure though. Then you have these lows that are getting higher and higher. This one, this one's kind of respecting this line. I kind of forgot which one it is, but like this is being respected. The highs are. It really looks like it's knocking on that top ceiling. And I wasn't really gonna do any because so like the lows are getting higher, but for a while the highs were getting lower. So it's like you had a lower high here, lower high here, lower high here, lower high here. But I think this kind of changed that, as in this is now kind of a higher high, and the lows are still getting higher also. And then if you look at the bias is up, right? Like it went up, then it had a pullback in time, and now it's going. You would think it's gonna go up again, right? But I guess you don't know that for certain. I would say the chances are like 65-35 in our favor. So it's like, why not take something that's advantageous towards us, right? So I did buy it, and I did put a 7% trailing stop loss just because I didn't do the math exactly, but I was like, if gold, so like gold is like at 34.50, so like I don't know, I don't know where 7% would be, but this is like less than. I think this is around 7%. So it's like if it breaks below these two lines, and it takes out this low, and it like starts doing these wicks, I wouldn't feel as confident in gold going up, because gold really isn't. I don't know, because it definitely could. Because like I guess if you look at this and this, there was like a 10% pullback before the run up, but like you still had this run up. You know what I mean? Like you had this break up, then maybe like a pullback, and then it went up a while. And here, like I don't know, like I don't feel like gold really does tricks like that. Like if you were to look at Ethereum, for example, Ethereum's all about tricks in my opinion, right? Like you have this run up, then you have this pullback, which is scary in my opinion, right? Because like you took out this, and now you're like, oh, am I going back here, right? And then it runs up, right? And you have the same thing here. Like you have this consolidation, then you have this fake out, and then all of a sudden you're down here, and you're like, was this like an actual fake out, right? And am I going back down to here? And then you start consolidating and you make a run up, right? So it's like crypto is very tricky like that. And gold, I haven't. This seems kind of normal, and I think a 7% trailing stop loss is fine. I mean, I don't really know the math and stuff like that, but um, yeah. I think that's chill. Maybe I could do like 8, 9%, but I don't think it's that serious, but we'll see if it is. I might take out this trailing stop loss, but I do just kind of want to ride like a wave up, and then whenever it dips, I just want to sell, because I don't want to like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't. There's pros and cons for using a 7% trailing stop loss, and I don't want to track gold that much. But maybe if I do track it, I'll take out the trailing stop loss. But right now, my thoughts have been on Ethereum. But yeah, so let's go back. And so, yeah, we talked about how the bias is up since the last movement was up, and then the consolidation. So the bias is already up right from the price action. But I do think there's some other narratives still in play for gold. So this is the worst seasonality for the S&P and the Nasdaq, and it's literally September is the worst month. So I kind of speculate like a bad stock market would be good for gold, because people might start having recession fears again. Even though I think recession fears are kind of premature at this time, but people love being fearful, honestly. And then yeah, and yeah, I don't want to. Okay, so one thing I've looked at in the spot that I thought was interesting is this ratio. So it's like the bull bear ratio, and I do think the S&P has a lot more room to run. It maybe not a lot more, but it definitely has more room to run, because we are technically bearish in sentiment, which I thought was very interesting because like we are basically at all-time highs, right? Like we're at all-time highs, and we are bearish in sentiment. So it's like I do think we're gonna have a crazy drop on the stock market and stuff like that, but I don't see that happening until we get like a return to normal of sentiment. So maybe it's like once we get to two to like 2.4, I'll just start being very cautious at the markets. But it's like sentiment is still like dirt low right now, which I thought was very interesting. So yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's why I think gold will do pretty good. Yeah, and then you have the weaker dollar narrative. I think this has been the worst year for the dollar, and like one of the worst years in the dollar for the last 50 years, which is insane, honestly. But then you have banks and governments buying more gold than they were holding USD, right? Because now they're holding less USD, and now they're gonna buy gold. So yeah, I think there's a lot of strong narratives in play for gold, and the bias is up for gold. So I might actually take off my trailing stop loss, honestly. But I'll honestly see, because I just don't, because if it, so if it like breaks above, then I might take it out and I'll just track it more carefully. But if it breaks, like if it goes to like this level, like something like this, I'd feel very cautious about gold, honestly. Like maybe this maybe this was a sell, but the reason why I think it's a buy is because of this. So it's like this dark pool did not sell here. They 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 sold here. If we're assuming it's a sell, right? And I think that this would have been a better sell. I think this would have been a better sell. I think this would have been a better sell. This is like you don't know how high it's going. Right, but this I think is a good sell. This is a good sell. This was probably the best sell, in my opinion. Because you literally made a lower low, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, we're back to these highs, right? When we made a lower low, right? So it's like this is definitely a good sell, but they didn't sell here, nor did they buy. Because buying here, I still feel like is risky, right? But then you've all of this time like spending here. I think this is actually a really good buy. So this is why I suspect the dark pool is a buy. But it's like if you look at the monthly, like look at the monthly, like this, like all of these doji candles, and then you have this break up. Like if gold actually closes like this, since we only have one more day in the month, like I feel like this is like really good. Like I feel like September will be really good for gold, and then maybe October. I don't really know. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money off of gold. Just like a nice 10%, maybe 10-15% would be chill. But yeah, I think gold is definitely looking really good right now. So we'll see how it works out. I'm not super attached to it, so if it does take out these lows and it let's say it does like something like this. Let's say it's like goes up like this and then goes down and like takes out these lows and then maybe makes its final wave. So be it, right? I'll get stopped out here. I'll take a 7% loss. Like it's not that serious, and I feel like like this is just kind of too weird for me because it's like why would you like because obviously it can do that, but it's like um this like if it does this and it goes down here, like I would feel like the bias might be a little reset, honestly. That's just my opinion. It could definitely do this, and this is a possibility, but I think it might just run up, and that's kind of my base case. So I'm just gonna assume that's what it's gonna do, and if it doesn't do that, that's fine. I'm not gonna lose too much money. So yeah, that's my gold trade, and I'll do a review on the gold trade whenever I get out and lock in that exit. And then I'll talk about my Ethereum and how I trade Ethereum next video. Okay, it might be a longer video. I'm thinking about whether to do longer videos or shorter videos. I'm trying to see what the algorithm likes and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully you found something of value from this.